Hi everyone, so I have got a video for you. I haven't done a video in about 6 days or 7 days I think. Had a lot going on. So I have made a ledger style journal, and I'm going to show you how I created this. I haven't decorated it, and I'm not going to show you decorating it because I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, and I just kind of want to get on with it now. But I used a cereal box. No, it wasn't a cereal box, it was a chicken quarter pounder box, which the quarter pounders were beautiful. Anyway, I used that, I decorated it, I put made my spine and everything, and like the cover here for the spine, and I've popped 2 signatures in. So I will just do a quick flip here. So like I said, it's blank. I'm going to be doing I'm going to just go ahead and decorate it. I've got everything ready to decorate it. So yeah, just used some of my own papers, some tailor-made journals, some bohemian crafting. Yeah, so that is that. So if you want to see how I made this, I'm going to put this on my journal cover series. I think I've got one of them somewhere. If not, it will be in Let's Make or something like that. I'll put it in that one anyway as well, so it might be in 2 playlists. You'll find the playlists on my channel, or I think I've got one linked below in the description box. So I hope you like the process. So here I am. I'm going to cover this box. It is a quarter pounder chicken box that I had. They were very nice. I'm using some matte medium, and I've printed out 2 sheets of paper which are from one of ARTYmaze's kits. I think it's the new Spring Blossom kit. I think that's what it's called, Spring Blossom. And I'm using the portrait printables with that. I'm just using a couple of credit cards there to kind of make sure it's nice and flat. Obviously I trimmed off the edges around the box first, but I didn't know whether I was going to do this video or not, and then decided I was. So then I'm putting on the other piece, some matte medium down there, and I'm not covering the spine up because I wasn't 100% sure what to do, and I just did change my mind twice on this. I'm just getting rid of some of the glue because I don't want all the paper to stick all around the edge. So I decided here I was going to just cover this up with a bit of coffee dyed paper, and you will see what I did do eventually. Just covering that up just so that nothing did show through. I could have painted it, could have done some gesso, but I didn't. So I'm just doing that to cover, and I found that bit of hessian which I thought I was going to use, but I didn't. So now I'm just trimming off around the edge because I'm going to fold in all the side pieces, and I'm keeping the long pieces because they'll come in handy for something. Them little bits I popped in the bin. So I'm just mitering the corners so I don't get a lot of bulk. There's many ways to do that, but this is the way I do it. I'm just folding up all the sides. And then I'm just going to get my tacky glue. Just gluing, I'm gluing close to the edge of the actual box and the paper as well, because I want that to stick well. So I'm just doing that all the way around. You could use double-sided sticky tape, you could use glue stick if you wanted to, you could use Fabri-Tac, whatever glue is your preference. So just folding up the edges and just making sure them corners that are going to like overlap on the side pieces, I've got a bit of glue on there as well because we don't want that to come away. Just adding another little bit of glue there. Then I got a piece of coffee dyed paper and I'm just measuring that to fit on there. That will be my inside cover. Just using the ruler, tearing away what I don't need, and then back in with the matte medium, making sure there's plenty on there, and I don't want any air bubbles. So plenty on there. And then I'm just lining it up so that I've got even space, or as much as possible, even space all the way around the edge of the cover. I've actually got quite a lot of boxes at the moment, like food boxes, and I've looked out some material, so I'm going to be doing some material boxes, using boxes to make journal covers and just having material on them. Got to use up that fabric. So I actually smushed that down a little bit more afterwards. Then I went on to folding over like a long strip of coffee dyed paper. Doesn't need to be coffee dyed paper because, as you see in a minute, I paint it. And then just folding that over for some strength. Smushing that down. And then I'm just kind of lining that up to make sure I've got like an even cover. Marking it at the bottom. Just folding that up there, and then just tearing that away, and then doing the same there. Then I thought, right, line this up because I don't want a wonky spine, and I just tore that away as well. Then I got some black acrylic paint, just put a little blob on the side. Found a paintbrush which was still sat in water and just painting that. I did actually give that 2 coats, but as you just seen me do one. Then I sat that, I actually did sit that to dry for a little bit on my heater. Then I'm using Fabri-Tac because I want that to stay on. Don't want that coming off, do we? So plenty of that on there. Smushed that around with my finger. Lined that up. And I think I double checked that I was kind of more or less the same either side of the spine. Making sure that that's nice and flat on there. Looked good, so I set that to one side. Then I got my signatures out, and as you see in the beginning, I kind of showed you what papers I used, but I've got 2 signatures to go in there because I think I'm going to do some flip out pages in this journal. So I didn't want lots of pages because I don't want it to be like one of them journals when you open it, it just like piddings right open like alligator mouth. So just preparing my linen thread. It is a wax linen thread, but I like to add just a little bit more. I've got a beeswax block, so I use that. Then I am lining the pages up, making sure they're all where I want them to be. And then I'm finding the center point using my Tim Holtz ruler. So then I mark it at the center point and then at the 2 inches either side of the center point using my needle. You can use an awl if you want, but I use a needle. It's what I'm used to doing. Been doing it for about 10 years. You always use a needle. I do have an awl, which I think you'll see me use in a minute. I use that for the spine because obviously it was a little bit thicker. So again, marking the centre and then the 2 inches either side of the centre, and then just making the holes with my needle. So back to the cover, you can see that's all nice and dried on there now. and I couldn't really see because it was really bright, the light was shining on, so I had to hold it up to make sure that I could find the center point of that. And then I just marked, I can't remember how much I marked, but I gave it kind of even space between, you know, the fold of the front cover and the fold of the back, and have an even space throughout the spine. It's hard to see on here, but again, marking that center point and then 2 inches either side of that, and that's when I got the awl out, my little foamy pad, and then just punched that like so. Rubbed out my pencil mark, put my needle, and put my cotton, my wax linen thread on the needle, straight through. You can hold your signatures together with paper clips and things, but I don't, but other people do. I just do it how I am used to doing it, how I like to do it. And then I go through the middle, into the bottom, up through into the middle again, through the top. Sometimes it goes all the way through, sometimes it doesn't. Loop it through the bottom part, then I kind of pull and make sure, not too tightly, but make sure everything is all nice and tight, and then I tie it in like a double knot, leaving the strings because like I don't know what I'm going to be doing with that yet. And then here I have a little bit of trouble with this one, as in the wax linen thread come out of the needle at some point, and I had to start that all again. So goes through, and I think this is where, when I pull it, yeah, the cotton, and I thought, right, I'll leave that there and I'll try and feed it through. It didn't work. It wouldn't work. Of course it didn't. Didn't want to do it. I was on camera. So I ended up taking it out and just starting that part again. So in through the middle, down to the top or the bottom, either way, it doesn't matter. In through the middle again, and in through the bottom. Just pulling that, making sure it's all nice and tight. Like I say, not too tight. Double knot it, put it down, and there we go. Look how easy that was.